Hello and welcome to Counselor Feature Friday. I'm your host, Brian Urban. In these features, we hope to give you some simple tips, tidbits, and tricks to make your days easier and your patients happier. In today's feature, we're going to focus on taking co-payments. So it's obviously a bit of a different process from just your standard patient workflow. The idea being we know the patient owes us a copay. We want to collect that prior to the visit. The challenge there, of course, is we don't necessarily know what's going to occur during that visit, i.e. what charges are going to come out of that visit. In Counselor, you can go ahead and take the copayment and then pull in those charges later. So I want to show you that process. So we're going to start here by clicking on Invoices. In this example, Megan is up at the front desk. We're going to go ahead and create a new invoice. Once again, this is prior to her being seen. And we're just going to create a new, we'll start initially here with a private pay invoice. You could set that as insurance too if in the likely event that this would be insurance based, but that's up to you at this point. I'm going to go ahead and we can skip right past the line items because we don't know what's going to be done at the visit. We're going straight to the payments. We get a lot of questions on this, people saying, do I need to create a line item for a co-payment? No, you just simply take the payment. If the patient hands you $30, let's track that. So let's say they're giving us $30 in cash. Nothing is due at this point, right? Because no charges have been put in. But I'm going to go ahead and say add. Now we have a $30 essentially credit on this patient's invoice. So when we go back to her profile, we'll be able to see that essentially at this point the clinic owes her $30, right? But as soon as we go ahead and we obviously perform the visit, we complete all the super bill, everything like that, this will all start to pull together. So let's take that example. Now the patient's been seen. The provider has completed the super bill. If you're up at the front desk, you could simply bring that invoice back up. The first thing you want to do is you want to link that invoice with the visit. Now here it is. Here's the visit from today. So let's go ahead and grab that visit and click Save. That will connect the work that the provider has done with the work you previously did collecting that copay. Now we'll click on the Line Items tab, and instead of having to re-enter a bunch of information, all you have to do is click Import Super Bill. That'll reach out to the visit, grab the info. In this case, it pulled over an audio and temps. Maybe it also would have brought over like batteries or something else, but in this case, audio and temp. And now we can see we have the copay already on the same invoice where we have those two line items. Then, of course, you can go about creating your claim or whatever else, of course, you need to do. You'll notice, by the way, that because those two line items were set to be claimable, Counselor automatically resets the payer type for this invoice to insurance. That's why I mentioned before, whether you have it says private pay initially or insurance isn't a huge issue. It's more or less up to you. But once you import the super bill, it'll reset this if there's anything that's claimable that comes over with those line items. Okay, so at this point, of course, if there was something private pay, batteries or domes or wax guards, whatever, of course you could take that payment now and you just continue on with your normal process from there. But what I want to highlight here is the fact that things can happen out of order. You can take the payment before you know what's actually going to be the billable services. In the same token, you can take a down payment for hearing instruments prior to knowing what the patient's going to be fit with. So take an example where you take a deposit at the initial consult. Well, you're not quite sure exactly what device you're going with, but you do know the price point. So you could message up to the front desk and you could say deposit equals $1,000. As a front office manager, you can go ahead and take the payment for the $1,000, right? And then the provider, when they get an opportunity, when they make that decision, or maybe the patient's going to call back, right, and give you their final decision on some option, then that can be added back to that same invoice. Okay, so once again, things can happen essentially out of order, but it's all fine. Okay, if you have any questions about any of this, of course, please give us a call, email us, live chat us. We're always happy to help. So thank you very, very much for joining us for today's Feature Friday. And as always, have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.